Very good morning, everyone. Is my voice audible? Thank you. Thank you for confirming. Very good morning, everyone. So, I guess today we are ready for solving MCQs related question. I have a request to make, so please understand this thing. The questions have been designed in such a way, few questions will call for your conceptual knowledge, right? Few questions will also demand the factual considerations. So please consider both of them together. Please try to answer the question as much as you can, right? And once we are done with the answering, I'm going to tell you the solution. Wherever it is important, I'm going to discuss few extra topics as well. That means suppose I have discussed any particular question, if I think that it needs a little bit more explanation, then I'll be doing that. Fine. But what I require from your end is that please answer the question which I am asking to you. Fine. So let's start with the question number 1. My question number 1 starts from the very first document that we have read in our budget, right? So this question asks you how many priorities are mentioned in the budget. So tell me, how many priorities are there? Great. So there are 7 priorities. 6, 5, 7, 4. These are the options, right? Yes, Aniket, Swapna, Bruce, Rushabh, Isha, Siddharth, everyone is correct. There are 7 priorities. Can you guys also tell me what are these 7 priorities? Because our next question demands that information as well. The next question calls for that which of the following is not a priority mentioned in the budget. Destruction. Is destruction a priority? Since when destruction has become a priority? See, inclusive development, right? Unleashing the potential, infrastructure, etc. These have been the financial sector related things. These have been your priorities under the government budget. But see over here, healthcare, inclusive development, youth power, agriculture. Okay, reaching last mile, finance, green mobility, unleashing potential, infrastructure. Yes, these are the 7 priorities. Now, the purpose of asking this is that you should remembering this. Now, what is the wrong answer in this? Which one is not included in the priority? Obviously, healthcare is not included. Can we say that healthcare is not a priority? Do you think like this? That your healthcare is not a priority? Why healthcare has not been included as a priority? There should be an answer for that as well. So the reason for that is there are 2 priorities in your budget. One is related to inclusive development, right? Just wait a second. One is related to inclusive development and another is related to reaching the last mile. Now both of these, they inherently require development on various fronts like education as well as the healthcare. Hence, yes, good Swapna Siddharth. So it has already been included, hence it has not been included separately. That is the only reason. Moving on to the next question. What is our next question? What is the purpose of building digital public infrastructure for agriculture? Options are to improve access to farm inputs, to support the growth of agri-tech industry and startup, to provide relevant information for crop planning and health, and all of the above. Yes, so always keep an eye for such kind of questions. See, whenever any particular scheme, see, I'm not generalizing it over here, but it happens most of the time that if any particular scheme is being started, it has multi-development objectives, right? Not just one, but the multi-development objectives. And obviously, if I'm talking about digital related digital platform is going to help me in all of these options. So yes, all of you are correct. Isha, Siddharth, Bruce, Rushabh, Aniket, and Vicky. Everyone is correct, right? So this is option number D is my correct option. I am going to have all of these facilities. Next is question number 4. How will the digital public infrastructure for agriculture will be built? Now this is an interesting question. How will digital public infrastructure for agriculture will be built? As a closed source, proprietary infrastructure, as a open source, open standard, interoperable, as a public private infrastructure for a specific group of farmers, as a limited infrastructure only for certain reasons. I'm so impressed. You all I guess you have studied the budget document very well. All the questions are super easy. What is the case? Okay, fine. Let me make it a bit difficult to you. Tell me, what is the meaning of open source? What is the meaning of open source? What is the meaning of open source? Everyone? Wait. So see, what happens is open source, closed source platforms are when government is making any public platform, what government does is government makes it open source. That means any particular user can adapt itself to their uses, right? Government does not makes it closed source. So any kind of government digital infrastructure you will see, it is always going to remain an open source, open standard as well as interoperable for public good. Yes, accessible to everyone. Now, next question is, let's see, have you guys prepared this as well or not? So, my question is, how much money has been allocated for Atmanirbhar Clean Plan program according to the budget? Now, such kind of questions, they also come. Oh, great. Siddharth, Bruce, Isha, correct answer. Swapna, Rishabh, yes. So the answer is 2200 crores. Now, if you guys know that this is the allocation, and obviously I should appreciate that you know it very correctly, also tell me that why this program, Atmanirbhar Clean Plan program, is for what? बताइए. Atmanirbhar Clean Plan program is for what? Very good. Horticulture, right? Disease-free horticulture crops. Yes. So India is already a biggest producer of so many fruit crops, right? So what we want is that India should be able to develop its export potential more. There will be clean plant centers established. They are going to give the seeds, etc., which are disease free, right? So we are going to have a good horticulture by virtue of this particular program. Fine. Now moving on to the next slide. Next is, what is the significance of Shri Anna according to the budget? It is a type of fruit, vegetable, grain, spice. What it is? Good. Rishabh, everyone has answered it correctly. So this is a type of grain. We call it coarse grain, right? There are so many benefits for it. I have already told you that please remember this Shri Anna program very well, because this is very crucial. Going ahead, we have your UNICEF as well as UNEP, everyone is focusing on it because they have got various kinds of benefits attached to them. Fine. Now, with respect to the same, let's answer the next question. Next question is, in which position India is in terms of production and export of Shri Anna, which is mentioned in the budget. India is largest exporter, largest producer, producer, second largest exporter, second largest producer, largest exporter, or second largest producer and second largest exporter. What is the scenario? Okay, give your answers. You could have just written option B. Why to type so much? Because I need your answers for the rest of the questions as well. So I do not want that you should be doing this much of mehnat. Fine. So good. Rishabh, Bruce, Aniket, Swapna, Siddharth. Yes, fine. Great. So this is our correct answer. India is the largest exporter and largest producer and second largest exporter. See, why there is always a logic behind this. We have got the world's largest population, fine. So if anything that we are producing and at the same time we have got consumers for it in our society, then we cannot be the super largest exporter. We have to keep something for our consumptions as well. So therefore, even after being the largest producer, we cannot be the largest exporter, because obviously domestic consumption needs are also there that needs to be fulfilled. Fine. So this is a more tip also. Whenever you are reading any such kind of things in your budget, okay, fine. Let me discuss the next question, then give the answers. So whenever we are discussing any kind of grain like this in your budget or your economic survey, please keep tab on such kinds of data, right? So this is very important. And also, do not try to do PhD that all the 10 countries who are exporting, etc. No, at max you should be remembering data about India only, and at max if you even want to do, just understand that who's on the first number. That's it. Now next is question number 8. What are the different types of Shri Anna mentioned in the budget? Jowar, wheat, corn. Jowar, ragi, bajra. Rice, wheat, corn. Rice, maize and corn. Which one is the answer? I guess it is super easy. Fine. Jowar, ragi and bajra. These are called as the coarse grains. These are called as the Shri Anna. Again, everyone has given the right answer. Now next is, how many nursing colleges will be established in total? How many nursing colleges has been proposed to be established in India? Okay, so we have got a new person to answer. Prashant, yes. Siddharth, Swapna, Rishabh, Isha, Bruce, Aniket. Everyone has answered it correctly. So what we are aiming? We are aiming for 157 nursing colleges that will be established in total in our budget. It has been proposed. Moving on to the next question. Next question is, what is the age group of, now this is the question where I can ask you some counter questions as well. See, there are various countries who claim this, but as of now, as of the report which I have read, USA also claims itself to be the first largest exporter of your coarse grains, right? It also claims itself to be the largest producer as well. But this is contentious because India also claims itself to be the largest producer. So which document we are going to refer to? We are only going to refer to what our Indian government says. Indian government says that it is largest producer, so we are going to accept that fact. Fine. Next is, what is the age group of people who will be screened under the mission to eliminate sickle cell anemia? Anemia. Now, what is the age group? Yes, but that's what I'm saying, that at max focus what is the position of India, and even in that always try to go for the Indian government's released data, because what India claims, that is we are going to follow, right? Apart from any other, there are so many statistics, there are so many rankings on the basis of it. Sometimes FAO brings out some kind of ranking, other organizations also bring out. So we mostly we do not care for them. We only care for them what government is saying in the economic survey as well as the budget. So yes, sickle cell anemia, you have given the answers. Yes, Rishabh, Swapna, Aniket, Bruce, Siddharth, Isha. Yes, correct. 0 to 40 years. Now tell me one more question. I'm going to ask one more question. What has been India's aim? Till what year India aims that it should be able to eliminate sickle cell anemia? Why I am fumbling over that? Fine. Very good. Very good. 2047. This is the target, that we should be able to eliminate the sickle cell anemia. Now, sickle cell anemia, it is a hereditary disease. What happens in that particular disease? So our RBCs, they are round in the shape, but in the sickle cell anemia, they become like a crescent shaped thing, right? And what they do is they obstruct the blood flow. So this is a kind of disease which we want to eliminate by the year 2047. This is our aim. Now next is, government has launched Pradhan Mantri PVTG development mission, right? What facilities will be provided to the PVTG families as well as habitations under Pradhan Mantri PVTG development missions? Again, a very easy, super easy question, right? Yes, dear, all the missions, etc. See, let me make you understand. Every kind of mission, it needs a implementing agency, right? So there should be someone who is responsible for this particular mission, who are working for these particular mission. Therefore, ministries are made responsible for this. Fine. Now here I want to ask you one thing. In when I was teaching you PVTG, I asked you that how many particularly vulnerable tribal group we are having in our country right now. Tell me that, how many PVTGs in India we are having right now? Which state is having the highest number of PVTGs? Yes, 75. Which state is having highest number of particularly vulnerable tribal groups? Tell me. Any idea? So no, maybe will not work. No. Search for it. In the last class also, I have asked you the same question, right? The same questions, and how many PVTGs we have. Very good, Swapna. Fine. So next, see over here, how much amount will be made available to implement the Pradhan Mantri PVTG development mission? What is the amount that has been allocated? Tell me. Tell me over here. 15,000 crores. Yes. Isha, Siddharth, Aniket, yes, 15,000 crores is the amount that has been allocated for the PVTG development mission. Now next is, as per Union Budget 2023, what is the capital investment outlay that we are going to make in the coming financial year? What are the answers of other? Great. Rusha, Bisha, Aniket, Bruce, Lokesh, Siddharth, Swapna, Rani as well as Siddharth. Fine. Now, few more questions I'm gonna ask to you. What has been our total expenditure estimate? What have we estimated? What we have estimated that, okay, this is going to be our total expenditure. Good. So our total expenditure is obviously 45 lakh crores. Fine. This is our total expenditure. Obviously, the same is going to be our total receipt. Is the 10 lakh crore is going in the capital figure, then the remaining is accounting for our revenue related thing. Now, the next thing which I want to ask you, what has been our revenue receipts and what have been our capital receipts? Revenue receipts, capital receipts. You guys are telling for revenue or you are telling for capital. Obviously, go and check about them as well. Fine. What has been your taxation related receipts? What has been your total revenue receipts? What has been your total capital receipts? Everything you guys have to check. Now next is, how many critical transport infrastructure projects for last and first mile connectivity for ports, coal, steel, fertilizers as well as food grains have been identified? How many critical infrastructure projects that we have that has been identified? What are the answers of others? Great. 100. These have been identified. Now next question is, as per the Union Budget 2023, an urban infrastructure development fund will be established through the use of priority sector lending shortfall. Which of the organization will manage the urban infrastructure development fund? I'm not giving you the options. You guys have to tell me. Great. NHB, National Housing Bank, right? RIDF is under which organization? RIDF, Rural Infrastructure Development Fund. Good, everyone. Next is, as per the Union Budget 2023, for realizing the vision of Make AI in India and Make AI Work for India, how many Center of Excellence for Artificial Intelligence will be set up in the top educational institutions? How many AI excellence centers we are going to set up? Good. Rishabh, Bruce, Swapna, Isha, Lokesh, Aniket, Siddharth, 3. These many center of excellence we have expected that we are going to set up. Next is, as per the Union Budget 2023, the state support mission of Niti Aayog, it is going to be continued for how many years? 17. Question number 17. What about others' answers? Great. So this is for next 3 years also. State support mission by the Niti Aayog, it is going to continue. Now the question, can also be asked that state support mission is under which organization, or which organization is responsible for this particular thing. So the always I'm not saying that question will be formed in this particular way only. Question can be formed in so many other ways and you should be responsible for that. Fine. So this is question number 3. Now, what is the main objectives of the recently launched National Green Hydrogen Mission? See, obviously, if it is going to be linked with the 15 Finance Commission only. Why? Because 15 Finance Commission's tenure is running right now. Fine. Now, okay, recently launched National Hydrogen Mission. What are your answers? Why you have answered A? See, this is the mistake that we do. Any kind of mission, any kind of scheme, I have already told you, they just sometimes they may have just singular objective as well, but most of the times they have multiple kind of objectives. Like your National Hydrogen Mission, what are the options? To reduce dependence on fossil fuels, to make country a leader in technology, to reduce the carbon intensity. Okay, fine. Now understand, I might be confused in this, right? I might think that, okay, this is not the correct answer. Answer number B. But at the same time, just understand. Do you remember the explanation that I provided you at the time when I was teaching this particular thing, National Green Hydrogen Mission? I was teaching you this, right? So I was telling you that with this particular technology, the only residue that we are going to leave in the organization is going to remaining just heat as well as the water. The carbon will not be emitted out of this National Hydrogen Mission. See, I understand that. That's why I'm saying that I'm not generalizing it, but understand the main objectives of the schemes are both of them as well as this. So hence we have to choose all of the above. Right? I have told you at the time of my explanation as well that carbon intensity is going to be reduced. That's why we are following up National Hydrogen Mission. Otherwise, we were very happy with the EVs, electronic vehicles. But no, we want to progress it further because we want to be carbon neutral. Now, what is the target that we have kept for ourselves to become carbon neutral? What is the target that we have kept for ourselves to become carbon neutral? Good. Rusha, Baniket, Bruce, Swapna, 2070 is the target that we have kept for ourselves. Now, next question is, as per the Union Budget 23-24, what is the estimated cost of National Green Hydrogen Mission? What is the estimated cost of National Green Hydrogen Mission? Tell me. Yes, when I was discussing the questions, when I was discussing the budget related document, someone asked me that do they have to remember till the units point? Then I said that please have a idea. Now, if you see the options, options are so much differentiated, right? Even if you remember the starting figures, you will be able to understand that what is the correct option. So when you are watching the questions, please try to devise your reading style as well, right? So even if you remember, okay, approximately 19,000 crores, you will be able to sail through the question. Now, sometimes if examiner is in a bad mood or a paper setter in a bad mood, then they can give you the options like 19,740, 19,730, 19,710. But that is again a bad day. We cannot expect such kind of questions to appear again and again. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, that bad luck might prevail, but sometimes it does not happen. Most of the times they give you such kind of options, and even if none of the above comes, you remember that okay, 19,000 something is the figure. Fine. So that my point of saying is that need not remember 40, 19,740, 19,730, 10. Need not, right? Because you have got so many funds and so many things to remember. So sometimes it's humanly not possible to remember all of them. Yeah. But see, that's what I'm saying, that please focus on the total figures, or please have an idea about everything. Fine. Now next question is, as per the Union Budget 2023, how many waste to wealth plants under Gobardhan scheme will be having? Now tell me, I'm not going to show you the options. I'm asking it like this only. Others? Rishabh, Aniket, Bruce, Lokesh. Fine, good. 500. So under Gobardhan, we are going to establish 500 plants, right? Out of these plants, 200 going to be your CB, yes. Great. So compressed biogas plants, 300 cluster based, yes. You people have read in so much depth. Good, Swapna. It's okay. These sessions are for that only. I'm not just checking that whether you have learned or not, but we are also preparing you for the future, so that as per the questions you try to understand that what are the demands of question, and then you prepare accordingly. Fine. Now the next question is, as per Union Budget, Amrit Dharohar scheme is not related to which of the following? First tell me, Amrit Dharohar scheme is related to what? Oh, thank you. I'll take that. Great. Yes, it is related to wetlands. What was the name of the convention that we were talking about wetlands? Great, great, great. Wetlands. I understood that you all know. Now tell me, what was the name of the convention under which we were talking about? Yes, Ramsar Convention. It is a convention, it is a city in Iran where Ramsar Convention was held, right? And there we have decided that we need to protect the wetlands. Fine. Now, how many wetlands are there in India right now? How many wetlands are there in the India right now? Very good. 75 as of now. For how long this particular Amrit Dharohar scheme is going to continue? Obviously, answer is says is not the priority over here. Says is not the priority, but for how long this Amrit Dharohar scheme is going to continue? Good. So it is going to continue for the 3 years. Now next see. As per the Union Budget 2023-24 under Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana 4.0 to skill youth for international opportunities, how many Skill India International Centers will be set up across different states? So how many Skill India Centers we have envisaged to be set up? Skill India Centers, how many we have thought that they are going to set up? Siddharth, Swapna, Lokesh and Isha. You guys have given the correct answer. So there are 30 Skill India international centers that they are going to be set up under the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana 4.0. Now you guys have to tell me one more thing. Tell me that what is the other step that has been taken under the skill development related initiative in our budget. There is one more great initiative that has been taken in the budget for the skill development, right? What is that particular initiative? Good, Soumya. What is that initiative? PM Vikas, that we have already discussed. I am asking about what is the other initiative. That Karmyogi is for the government officials, public servants. Yes, apprenticeship related. Yes, this is one of the things. I was trying to ask for the digital mission. There is a digital mission, right? That we have taken. So I wanted to ask for that. Now I would like to ask you few more questions before we complete this thing. Yes. So now just wait for a second. We are going to complete this, but before that, I'm going to ask you few more things. Okay. So now please be ready for the questions. I'm asking these questions. These are crude questions, not in the form of MCQs. I'm just trying to understand that what is the knowledge that you have gained, right? These questions which I'm going to ask right now, they are focused more on the fiscal side, right? So because I have realized that we are not that great in the fiscal side. So first of all, I'm going to ask you the question, starting with what is our total expenditure under the budget that we have envisaged? 45 lakh crores. The same is going to be the total receipts, right? Now these total receipts has been divided into the revenue as well as the capital part. What has been our revenue, total revenue receipts? What has been our total revenue receipts? My question is total revenue receipts. You can tell me in round off as well. Great. So this is around somewhere around 23 lakh crores. Fine. You can also round off it to 23 from tax, and yes, 3 plus non-tax. Great. 26. What has been my capital receipts? What has been my capital receipts? Great. What's your name? Yeah, Paromita, Raghavendra, Swapna, everyone is correct. We can also round it off to 19 because it is approximately 18.7 crores. Fine. Now, next thing which I would like to ask. The next is, all know that government does the borrowings, right? What is the source from where government does the maximum borrowing? What is the source? What is the source from where government does the maximum of its borrowing? Yes. So understand this. Question can be given in a various kinds of formats, right? Various kinds of formats means they can ask you whether government does internal borrowings more or external borrowings more. So please remember, government does internal borrowings way more than the external borrowings. Even in internal borrowings, the highest source for government borrowings is government security plus treasury bills. This is the single largest highest source for the government borrowing, central government borrowings. Understood? Yes. So all of you, those who have answered internal source, those who have answered treasury bills, all of you are correct, but just please understand that this is one of the source in the internal borrowings. There are two distinctions. Number one, internal borrowings. Number two is external borrowings. Fine. India does most of its borrowings through internal sources, and even in internal sources, this is the maximum, this is the single largest source where the government does the maximum borrowing. What is the second highest share? Second highest share. The second largest source for government borrowing. Securities against small savings. This is the right word. Securities against small savings. So there is a small saving fund. All these people, like there has been an initiative, right? Do you guys remember there has been a Mahila related scheme that has been launched where any person, any women obviously, they can deposit up to 2 lakh rupees. Withdrawals are also allowed into that. You remember that particular scheme? So there are so many schemes under which the citizens make the small savings, right? So government issues securities against that and government takes out the borrowing. So this is the second largest source. Now after that, next thing, what is the fiscal deficit? What is the fiscal deficit that we are estimating for the coming year of 2023 and 24? What government has predicted that this is going to be our fiscal deficit? What about others? So yes, good Rishabh, Swapna, Bruce, Lokesh, 5.9%. 6.4% is the revised estimate that we are having for the current year. 5.9% of GDP. This is also you need to remember of what? Just do not remember the figure. Also remember in comparison to what you are talking. 5.9% of the GDP is regarding that we are talking. Also, we have some kind of target, right? We were having a kind of target for reducing our fiscal deficit. What was that target? I just forgot about it. What was that target? No, I'm talking about this. Our FRBM Act says, right, that you have to reduce your fiscal deficit. So government has made a target for itself to reducing its fiscal deficit up to a certain date. I just do not remember. I cannot recall it. Can you guys please 4.5%, great. Rishabh, yes, that's what exactly what I was asking. 4.5% is the government's target that we are going to reduce our fiscal deficit up to 4.5% by the year 2025. So this is the government's target. Fine. Now coming to the from where rupee comes from. Now tell me over here, in government's revenue, if I give you options where rupee comes from, I am talking rupee comes from where, and your options are borrowings, GST, income tax, as well as customs. Which is going to be your correct option? Yes. Can you also tell me that what is the percentage of our government revenue or the government total receipts that comes from the borrowing? What is the total percentage of government's receipts that comes from borrowings? I understand that borrowing constitute the highest source of government receipt. Again, understand this is not a revenue, this is a receipt that we are having. This is a capital receipt which is increasing our liability. Great. So 34% of our total receipts is from the borrowings. Next highest source of revenue for government is, next highest source of receipt for government is what? So, second GST, yes, Raghavendra has already answered it. Yes, great. Rishabh also. So, yes, the next highest is for me is GST. Now, talking about corporation tax and income tax. So, for this particular budget, corporation tax is a much higher ladder, right? And income, they are almost same, but yes, corporation tax is few points higher than the income tax, right? All the other sources comes at a later stage, right? In non-tax revenue sources, which is the largest source for me, I'm talking about non-tax revenue sources. Non-tax revenue sources, which one is the highest source in the non-tax revenue segment for me? Your answers, please. See, you have combined it, but yes, if you to make it together, dividends as well as profits, disinvestment is not a revenue receipt for me. Understand that. Disinvestment is a capital receipt for me. I asked you non-tax revenue sources. We cannot club disinvestment in this. Disinvestment is a capital receipt. Fine? Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. So it's my job to correct. Fine. So in this particular case, what is the major source for us? So dividends as well as the profits. This is the major source of non-tax revenue. Interest receipts are also there, but we are not counting it over here. They come under the others. Now, next thing that I should be asking you, yes. So tell me, tax receipts as a percentage of GDP. Tax receipts as a percentage of GDP. What it is? Great, Swapna. It is 11.1%. It is 11.1%. If we talk about as a percentage of GDP, then 11.1% of the GDP is our tax collection. Correct? Now, as a further tip, I would advise you that please also remember that which one is having the highest share, be it your indirect taxes or your direct taxes. Swapna, can you tell me that which one is having the highest source? Direct or indirect tax? Great. Good. Very good. So, direct tax and indirect tax. 6%, 5.1% of GDP. Right? Although GST is the single largest source of receipt for us in the budget, but if you see corporation tax plus income tax, if you combine both of them together, you are going to have more share of the direct tax as in form of revenue. Very good, Raghavendra, Isha as well. Now tell me, let's come on to the expenditure part, right? So which is the largest single source where rupee goes? Out of our total budget, which one is the single largest source where our rupee goes? You have to answer me that. Yes, interest payments. This is the largest source or the largest way where our rupee goes. The next, second largest one is state's share. Because time is up. 20% of our total expenditure goes for fulfilling our interest payments related obligations, right? And 18% of our total expenditure we give, central government gives it to the states. For this we make the finance commission as well. Finance commission recommends that what part of central sources or the central revenue should be allocated to the states. Yes, everyone, right, it is Isha, Bruce, everyone, fine, correct. So, these have been the smaller things that I wanted to ask you. Please remember all of them collectively. One more thing, because the time is not left with us, I would like to tell you, whenever you are reading this, please try to link the things in your mind. If I'm talking about interest payment, now, whenever I'll talk about it, the next question that will arise, that should arise in my mind is the what is primary deficit of India? Fine. What is primary deficit of India? When I am talking about this, the next question that should arise in my mind is what is effective revenue deficit of India? Now, for all those people who do not understand the meaning of these terms, please do understand. Whenever, as soon as I am talking about this, the next question should be these two figures. So tomorrow we are again going to discuss the MCQs. We have a lot of MCQs because the budget document was that much big, right? Now I hope that tomorrow I am going to give you a tip. Please remember the allocations that we have made to different schemes, right? So tomorrow my focus will be on that. We are going to learn, first of all, do the practice on your behalf, try to learn all the allocations, and tomorrow when I'm going to ask the questions, these kinds of things will be clear to you. Fine. So this is it. This is all that I wanted to discuss in today's class. Please do not forget to like this video, and thank you so much for joining in.